But until a person actually walks through the door and walks through the rooms, it's not until then that one understands the impact of what's surrounding them.
It's just an incredible collection of books.
My first visit to the site overwhelmed me with the majesty of what was there.
When I first walked in, I was rather overwhelmed by the amount of books, boxes, and the task ahead.
Well, when I first came in, I was somewhat overwhelmed by the number of volumes and the sheer magnitude of it.
When we brought people in from various university libraries and from OCLC in here and just showed them the contents of 5 boxes of the 869 boxes we took, they were astonished. And then when we took them to where we have the books stored and showed them that, they were further astonished. And I go out there once a week, and I'm still astonished when I go out there.
Armed with a search warrant, FBI agents entered a 17-room house in Ottumwa, Iowa in March 1990. Inside was a treasure trove of rare books and antiques. They seized approximately 30,000 items, including 16,000 rare books, and moved them to a warehouse in Nebraska. Many of the items appeared to have been stolen from university libraries throughout the United States and parts of Europe. The FBI agents now face the difficult task of trying to identify the rightful owners of these rare items.
When I saw the books, I said, okay, this is great, we made this case, and it's been brought to a successful resolution, and we had a suspect in custody, and now I immediately started thinking how we're going to deal with all this.
There was an article in USA Today about the books that had been found in Ottumwa, Iowa. And one of the things included in the article was the FBI agent was quoted as saying that they thought it would be difficult to get the books and the libraries back together again. And we thought that that would be a good opportunity for OCLC, with our database of bibliographic records and locations, to lend a hand. So I went to a meeting in Ottumwa and took along an OCLC workstation to do a hit rate. And just on a quick search, we found that 17 of the 20 items that I searched were in the OCLC database. So we volunteered to help with the effort.
Our estimate went immediately from 2 years to prepare an inventory using our antiquated system that we utilize in normal criminal cases to approximately 1 month using OCLC resources.
OCLC sent a team of 4 cataloging experts from its retrospective conversion division and 10 workstations to the warehouse in Nebraska where the books were stored.
Although we're not here to have fun, it is interesting and it's fascinating, and we have a good time while we're here. We're here to get it done.
OCLC, under the guidance of the FBI, issued a call to member libraries in the area for cataloging help. 40 volunteers, coming from as far away as 100 miles, responded. Catalogers and reference librarians from 15 libraries, as well as a network administrator, worked a total of 600 hours over 4 weeks. Together with the OCLC staff members, they sorted through and inventoried 19 tons of books and papers.
It's tedious work going through these various books, but I went out there and I asked one volunteer from a local library, I said, why the heck are you doing this? I mean, you look at library books all day long, and not that we don't appreciate your help, but I'm just interested in why you do this. And he says, I would not have the opportunity, probably my entire career, to handle this volume of books of this interest and this value and historical value and whatever. And you could tell the guy was loving every minute of it. And I believe they would work 20-hour days if they could stay out there and work that long. But that impressed me. I was impressed with that.
I also felt that as a librarian, you kind of have a professional stake in this, because the way I see it, this man has insulted all of us that run libraries, and to have stolen from another library is to have stolen from me, and I really felt that we had to do something about that.
I think it's been a fascinating experience, a chance to look at material that I'd never have a chance to see otherwise.
I'm working on this project because I take it personally that someone has invaded our libraries across the country, and I'm also would like to see that these books get back to the proper owners.
I feel a certain personal pride that I'm being allowed to work on something like this that takes me away from somewhat unconventional responsibilities that I have now, that I can literally and figuratively get my hands dirty once more with books like this that have a value and certainly are leaving an enduring mark on me in more ways than one. So a lot of feelings. I'm going to remember this for a long time.
Using a streamlined process, project workers first searched the OCLC database for a bibliographic match using whatever identifiers were on the books. When they found a match, they assigned an FBI holding code to the record. For those books that could not be identified, a tape record was keyed into a special file and printed out for a general FBI list. Creighton University Library Director Raymond Means was especially supportive of the project.
And because I was interested, and because they were interested, and because it was a worthwhile project, I gave each of them permission to take 1/2 day of a work week to volunteer for the project. But because it did catch on, many of them have taken on their own time, evenings and weekends, to go out and work.
The Omaha project team inventoried more than 21,000 items, ranging from the ordinary to rare incunabula. Materials on religion, exploration, and history of local, national, and universal realms dating from the 15th to the 20th century were prevalent.
For me, the most interesting items have been the handwritten manuscripts. There's been a lot of handwritten manuscripts dating back to the 1850s, 1860s, and it's been really fun to go and sit and read those and read of people's travels from Kansas to Oregon and all of this. That's been really interesting.
Although I did find my own favorite of Winnie the Pooh bound in vellum, so I kind of like that.
It's been a real treasure to hold some of these things in your hands and think of the people that have touched these books and read them.
The OCLC database proved to be a valuable tool for the project team.
The hit rate so far has been anywhere between 93 and 95%. That has been very encouraging for us, especially given the number of incunabula that we've had to process and some of the early German titles. So we've been very pleased at finding things in the database as quickly as we have, and it's also impressed the volunteers that have come out, and they've been totally amazed at some of the titles that they've been able to find as they've been entering their search keys.
The illuminated manuscript kind of things that you never have an opportunity to actually see, much less touch, much less discover that they're on OCLC.
When I first heard what OCLC was tackling, I couldn't believe that they would find the number of items in the database that they have. It has been astounding to sit down at the terminal and search for some of these obscure things and have them turn up.
Thanks to years of painstaking work by catalogers, these database records contain exacting physical descriptions of books, their covers, bindings, and unusual characteristics. FBI investigators were able to obtain not only a detailed description of a book, but also a list of possible owners.
It's a wonderful use of the database to be able to both identify the items so that libraries all over the country can then look in their own catalogs and see if they're theirs, and also for us to identify our own material, all the information that's compiled by the database. It's a great aid in addition to looking at the spines and looking at the kind of binding, the book plates that help us identify our own materials.
Every record that every library has put into the database has meaning. And it's something that you don't always think about. The work that we did maybe 10 years ago comes back to help us out in a project like this. It's kind of an unusual thing.
It's really been a fun project. It's something for which I had no experience and no preconceived notion of how the work would go. But the FBI has been very supportive and very creative in its efforts of working with us, and they have, I think, gone the extra mile to get the project all set up.
This is an overwhelming task, and I don't believe that I could have done this in a short period of time. So I'm truly grateful for the assistance of OCLC and the volunteers who have worked with OCLC.
I have really enjoyed working with the people that have graciously come out and helped us. It's not only helping us with the process, it's that they're our support system here away from home. And I'm truly grateful to those